Welcome into the Casual Gaming Conversation. I'm Connor. That's Nick. This is your weekly gaming podcast from Co-op 64. This week we're doing a little what we've been playing. We're talking about the games we've been playing. We each got 5 games to go through. It's going to be a doozy. It's going to be a lot of fun. We are shooting this out of order. This is going up after the next podcast, which is the the tier list, console tier list podcast. So if we are a little bit dated on things, just keep that in mind. I can't believe they put the PlayStation 2 in F tier, dude. That's wild.
That's
Why
insane.
would they
do that?
That's a crazy thing to do.
I mean, unless, right? Oh my gosh.
How you doing? Doing okay?
Yeah, I'm coming off of one of those nights, Connor.
Yeah.
I think that this has happened 2 times this year where I was playing a game right before we reviewed it, late the night before. Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown comes to mind. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth comes to mind. And now here I am again, 2 a.m. I'm up fighting the last boss over a tree.
How long did it take you, hours-wise? Do you know?
Yesterday or total?
Total, on just the one boss.
On the boss, I think I took 15 hours.
Jeez Louise.
And yesterday I went for 8 hours.
I'm curious to see how that affects your overall score. Or does it? Does the final boss change your opinion
It
on
does
it?
not.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think it would have pissed me off.
I understand that I didn't explore enough in the base game to have a stacked build. I understand that I didn't pivot
To a different build?
to a different build, which if you know the game well enough, you could have learned, hey, I need to make a move. For me, I just used katanas the entire time, so I was like, I'm not going to get away from this. And it got to the point where I was like, is it worth going for 3 hours to go and get a new build structured and everything, or is it worth just sticking with what I got? And I stuck with what I got, and
Came out on top.
we did it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm feeling no joke, this is one of the best feelings I've ever had on a podcast.
That's wild.
But we'll talk about that on the next pod, which will go first, which will include my review of Erdtree, which
Yeah.
I'm excited about.
We are going to talk about a little bit of Elden Ring.
Yeah, we
on
will.
This. Yeah. But a little bit of housekeeping for you. Just keep in mind, we stream on Twitch Monday through Thursday, 7 to 10 Eastern Standard Time. I'm finishing up God of War, and then Brady's playing Uncharted 3 on stream. And then
By the time you're watching
Knight.
this, Brady's starting Uncharted 3 tonight.
Yeah.
Which is also the
Brady's-
first ever Brady solo stream, which is going to be lit.
Yeah.
Treat him well.
Yeah. make him feel okay about being alone or
Yeah.
whatever. I imagine it's a little bit stressful. Brady's not like a streamer or whatever.
Yeah.
That's not his bag. I mean, he likes being on stream, but we're thrusting him into a role that he wasn't really comfortable in. But he's gonna do great, I'm sure.
No, it's gonna be a ton of fun. I mean, you might be in the air at that point. No, you fly out early Monday.
No, I fly out late.
Then
Monday.
you were definitely gonna be in the air during
Yeah.
that point. I'm gonna be hanging out with some friends, but you bet your ass gonna be tuning into
Yeah.
Brady streaming some Uncharted 3.
Because the reason we're filming 2 weeks in a row is or 2 weeks worth of podcasts is because Nick and I are going on vacation, seeing our family. I haven't seen my family in so long. I'm so excited. Honestly, I'm excited to sit on a beach. I'm excited to see my family. It's going to be a lot of fun. We have a survey going right now, getting feedback from you guys. So we want to hear from you. There's a link in the bio of our TikTok, as well as in the Discord. We want to hear what you think we can do well, what you think we can do better, what you want to see more of, what you like to see from us. So yeah, go fill that out if you have the time and inclination. We really appreciate it.
I read every single one of them. So just if you throw it in there, even if you throw it in there and you're just cracking jokes, there's certain people that did that, and
Right.
so that's okay, but the people that have given us good feedback have legitimately changed things that will happen in the future.
Yep.
That is how good this survey is. So thank you so much for those who filled it out.
We also haven't plugged the merch in a good minute, so yeah.
Wait, Connor, you're so handsome. Why are you so handsome today?
That's probably because of this merch,
Oh,
baby.
there you go.
There is a link in the bio as well for the merch. We have t-shirts, mugs, hoodies, all at reasonable prices.
Reasonable.
Yeah, they're also very comfortable. So especially the mug. The mug is extremely comfortable. So yeah, check those out if you want. 3 different colors: gray, black, white shirts, and hoodies. So yeah, I've been rocking mine for the last few months. It's been a lot of I was gonna say a lot of fun. It's been very comfortable wearing these or whatever, so I like them quite a bit. So get your merch if you want.
I really enjoy the merch.
Yeah.
The merch is actually really nice. It is something that you can throw on every single day, and it's not like weird or crazy. I think Connor said from the beginning of like what the design of this was supposed to be was like it's the logo, but it's not like a blown up logo that it's really like cumbersome. It's a nice sleek t-shirt or hoodie, and it looks really great.
Yeah, I like to keep my graphic tees at least a little bit discreet for the most part. Like they're the two graphic tees for like anime. Ridiculous.
Wild.
Like, why can't I just get like a simple Dragon Ball shirt? Why can't it? Why is it always like Goku and Vegeta's face is like blown up on the front of the tee? It's like, why? Like I want just something like discreet, like a pocket tee with the Dragon Ball on it. That would be sick.
Your shirt for Attack on Titan, the Scouts logo shirt with the Scout. Oh my god, I love that shirt. That shirt's sick.
It's not crazy or anything. Like it's just it blends in. It doesn't like let every single person know that you're a fucking dork, but the people who like Attack on Titan can see that and be like, oh, Attack on Titan, love that shit.
Yeah.
So yeah, check out the merch and also join the Discord if you haven't. There's a link in the bio for that as well. We do community nights. We watched Kung Fu Panda recently, movie nights. That was a lot of fun. Watched that for the first time. Good movie, good flick. It's where you can keep up to date on all of our happenings. It's where we post the announcements for the stream, for any changes, all of that good stuff. So go check that out. Join the Discord and make some friends in there. Feel free to chat. If you're going to join the Discord, I want to hear from you.
Yeah, introduce yourself. We have a channel on the Discord for you to just say like, "Hey, what's up? I'm so and so. I play this." Like, it's really nice to just like get some understanding of who y'all are, and we really do enjoy chatting with y'all. It's a great part of the community. It's great to ask questions. Ask the best are questions that we can answer. We did get a message on TikTok that I was like, bro, I don't know what like Xbox thing. Yeah, I was like, man, this is like difficult. Just Google it, I guess. Like I don't want because I don't know. That's what I would do.
Google is free.
But if you do know, if you do have certain questions like, hey, what console should I pick up or something like that, we're more than happy to give you a quick answer and a quick reasoning on that too. Like if we know, we'll answer it.
Yep. So we are going to get into our hot takes now. Do you want to kick it off?
I want to kick it off.
Oh wow. He's stoked for it.
Ooh. If you guys can hear sirens, they're here, not like behind you in your car. My gaming hot take for today is that gaming in 2024 is unbelievable. It's been awesome, and it's going to be way more awesome. I'm sick of this narrative that comes along that's just like, gaming is all right. It's a mid-year. I've been a proponent of this. I've been somebody that's just like, yeah, it's a down year. I'm wrong. I'm completely wrong. I am totally heel turning on this one. Gaming this year has been phenomenal. Not just good, phenomenal. Let's kick it off with Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, one of the greatest open world games of all time. And then we have PlayStation filling out their lineup with games like Stellar Blade, which was pretty freaking awesome. A great action game. And Rise of the Ronin, which is a fun open world game where there's cats and stones and you go, caw, like you're having fun. Then on the Nintendo side, yes, it's been lackluster thus far, but we're going to get to the bangers down the line. Xbox Hellblade 2 is a divisive, beautiful game. And then for third-party filling out, there's been some highlights like The Lost Crown, and then most importantly, Shadow of the Erdtree. 2024 gaming, amazing. Really, really good thus far. But let's look down the road a little bit, Connor. Astrobot. We got hands-on with it. One of the best gaming experiences we've had thus far this year, and it was only 45 minutes. We have Lego Horizon, a super fun time, small game. We have Concord, which previews came out, and apparently it's really great. We have on the Xbox side, Indiana Jones, Avowed. The more I hear about Avowed, the more I'm in. Then we have Nintendo, freaking Zelda, where you play as Zelda. Mario Party. Mario and Luigi Brothership. These games are awesome. And then I just every now and then I'm like, oh, I'm so excited for Astrobot. Like that's my most anticipated game this year. Dragon Age: The Veiled Guard is going to be unbelievable. It looks amazing. That demo that we've seen on it, unbelievable. That like came out right after SGF. Are you kidding me? There are so many games. Everyone's wallets are going to be just empty by the end of this year because there's so many amazing games that I can't stand this narrative of like there's nothing to play. I am overwhelmed with stuff to play. We're gonna play NCAA football in a couple weeks on a stream, and that's gonna be delightful. Like every single new title is just so exciting, and we need to put some respect on 2024.
Dragon Ball Z Sparking Zero, Dragon Ball Sparking Zero rather, Black Myth Wukong, Star Wars Outlaws, Assassin's Creed Shadows, like
Visions of Mana.
like come on guys, like this year is amazing. This was going to be one of my hot takes. I just hadn't written it down. I completely forgot to do this, but yeah, I think that this is one of the best years in gaming. The people who say gaming sucks in 2024, I'm like, I'm having the best year of gaming that I've had maybe in my entire life right now. And it's because there is that some periods of downtime where you can go play retro stuff or something that's in your backlog that like, this is the perfect cadence for me. Like I love this so much. And then it's going to get crazy in the second half of the year. And that's super exciting as well. Like it's awesome. 2024 is amazing for games.
Persona 3 Reload. My second favorite game of the year thus far. Tekken 8. Are you kidding me?
Like
dude?
a Dragon Infinite Wealth. Like,
wait, I feel like we're back to naming NBA role players and just like, this shit's awesome. Like it's amazing.
Maybe it doesn't have the same highs as 2023, but like for a year that everyone was really down on, that we thought was going to be a very bad year for the most part, or a very lackluster year, I would rather say. Like I think this is shaping up to be a very, very solid year, and I love the cadence. Honestly, I love what we're getting in 2024. So I love the take.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thanks for enjoying my take. It means a lot. What's your hot take?
My gaming hot take for this week is that VR, virtual reality, has a ceiling.
Oh.
And we've reached it for now.
Oh.
Every VR title I've played has not convinced me that it is not more than a gimmick. It is a gimmick. It's a amusement park ride. Is there great VR titles? Of course. You have your Beat Saber, you have your Super Hut, you have your Half-Life Alyx. Half-Life Alyx probably the apex of what you can get in VR. But there's nothing that beats sitting on the couch with a controller, looking at a screen on your console, playing the game. I understand that it's cool and like, whoa, when you put on VR. I don't want to pull it out and like plug in cords and put on the headset and move around often. Like I had a VR headset, I had the PSVR, loved it for like 2 months and then never touched it again. I was like, I'm not going through the whole process of dealing with this thing, because at the end of the day, I play games to just kind of relax and hang out. VR is not relaxing by any means. And it's not like a laziness thing, because like we loved the Wii, and the Wii like was the perfect line of cumbersome and accessible, where like sure there's motion controls, but you can sit on the couch and kind of waggle the Wii remote around. VR is like a whole nother level of just the act of strapping something onto your head and having to move around like that is just barely a step too far. And there's just no innovation in this space. Every VR title I see, I'm like, that looks like something that came out 10 years ago or 5 years ago or whenever VR started to popularize, which it's been a long time. Yeah, which is crazy. Because at first it was like, okay, like this makes sense. We're laying the groundwork for stuff that will be great down the line. And we are down the line now, and we're still getting the same like shorter experiential type games that are like cool, but not like full-fledged games. So with where the tech is right now, I'm afraid that because of the lack of innovation and the lack of wide appeal, that we're not going to push into the devs aren't going to keep pushing this thing down the line into like more innovative spaces. So where we're at right now with the technology, we're at a ceiling. It would need to drastically change. I don't know what that change looks like, what that development looks like to make it better or more accessible or like more feature rich, if that makes sense. Like, I don't know. Like it would need to be like full body scans or something like that, or something that's just like just glasses, just throwing those on and then you can like use it or something like that. There's just something about VR where it is right now that just feels like we're just not going anywhere with it. And it feels like we've been not going anywhere with it for a very long time. And it's kind of a bummer, because I thought it was really cool tech at first, but we've peaked. We're at the apex.
I mean, my upstairs neighbors in college had some MetaQuests, and we had a blast throwing those things on and playing different games, Super Hot being one of note. And then obviously Beat Saber is just Beat Saber is like one of the greatest games ever.
It's super fun.
It's just unbelievable. But when it comes down to brass tacks, Connor, yeah, I completely agree with this take. I just don't care enough. I feel like when we see VR titles and PlayStation shows, it's always just like, let's just get back to the games we actually want to see. Like, This is cool, but it's not like gonna ever, even if it's IP we know, it's never gonna do what I needed to do to get me off my seat.
Half of the IP we know, like Walking Dead, Saints and Sinners, it's like that's shooting gallery. Like
Yeah.
I can do that at Disney World. Like it's an amusement park ride. Like it's not video games. I know it is a video game, but like it's not what I come to video games for. You know what I mean? Like we've moved past the shooting gallery. Like what is it? Like House of the Dead or whatever. That's like Dreamcast era or like arcades. Like we don't do that anymore, and that's all VR is for the most part. Like it's just no. We need to move forward from it. So it's not something that I want them to just completely give up on, but it is something that just is so notably like not getting pushed forward, if that makes sense.
It's not getting better.
Everybody is going like half in on it and making shorter experience. Like you need to do the Half-Life Alyx like mantra or roadmap if you're gonna do VR. Nobody's doing that. Not even close. So that's just my take. All right, we're gonna get into what we've been playing. Nick and I both have 5 games. You want me to kick it off? I'll
yeah,
take
sure.
the first one.
I just throwing this out there. We had to cut many games since our last what we've been playing.
So, I mean, like real quick, like we're playing God of War on stream. Yep. I am, and I'm enjoying it quite a bit. I beat Pokemon Snap, loved it, loved it. Super engaging, short, fun experience. Was hooked on it. What else do we got going here? I've fallen off of Secret of Mana. Didn't really love it. And then I figured out that I had to grind from a certain level to a certain level, and I didn't really want to do that. And I was like, I'd rather play something else right now. 207 hours of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, platinumed, my boy. Oh my goodness gracious. Finally done with that. Super stoked on that. And that's about it. I'm playing a lot of Valorant lately too. So, yeah.
Yeah. For me, Shadow of the Colossus was a game that I beat since the last time we discussed these, and that's absolutely terrific. And then looking down, A Way Out with Brady was like phenomenal. That was a ton of fun to go.
Portal 2 I played.
Yeah, that was solid. And then TMNT Shredder's Revenge. Holy shit. What a fun game, dude. Man, what a fun game.
We played so many games, dude.
And so now we're going to talk it through some others that we've like beaten, some that we're currently playing. But like really, and then the amount of Valorant has been... It's been ridiculous. It's been a problem. And by the way, something that like I just want to throw out there, and this is going to date it weirdly, with this Elden Ring experience, I also watched the entirety of The Bear.
Yeah. Season 3.
Yeah, season 3. Just season 3. Bear's really good.
Yeah, everyone knows it's really good.
Season 3, by far the worst season.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, that sucks.
But still really good.
Yeah, that's still rough.
It's hard.
Yeah,
but also like season 1 very curated, season 2
we're in a weird
season
period
3.
of shows that are just like in their worst season. The Boys is definitely in its worst season.
I haven't watched episode 5 yet. I heard episode 5 is great.
Okay, all right. Well, maybe it's not. But either way, even if it is its worst season, it's still pretty good television.
Well, that's the thing where it's tough. And then no joke, the thing that is the best thing on television right now is that hot D, Connor. House of the Dragon is elite. Which
I'll get to it eventually.
You're never watching that show. I don't think you're ever watching.
I'm never watching a show ever again. If we're being honest, I just play video games now. That's all I do. Play games.
Do you have an HBO account? When are you watching Dune 2? You like Dune. You like Dune, and
I do.
But
I want to rewatch Dune 1 before, so it's a commitment.
I mean, get it some time in July and go and watch Dune 2.
I also played Stray on in one weekend with Laura. That was a lot of fun.
So this has been what we've been playing. Now onto the draft.
Yeah, dude, we've just been playing a ton. Like I just said, like I don't watch shows, I don't do anything. Like I hang out with Laura every once in a while, but she's been grinding that Persona 5 in the other room as well. So like I'm like we're both doing our own little grinding game sessions or whatever. So yeah, it's been fun.
Oh, also I've been playing Ori in the Blind Forest. Great game. But I talked about that on a previous pod.
Right on. Okay, I'm gonna kick it off with Half-Life 2, which I played on stream. I don't love this game. And I know that it's but I respect it. I respect it a lot. And I understand in 2004 how fucking mind-blowing this must have been. The physics in this game are insane. The gravity gun lives up to the hype. It's really cool. It's definitely one of the most unique and interesting weapons in games. You can pick anything up and just fucking yeet it at people. It's pretty awesome. So like I think that stuff's really great. I think that the combat is fun. It's not perfect by any means, but it's 2004, first person shooter. It's good. There's sections of this game that just drag on for so long. Because at first I was really loving it. I was like, this is great. And the pace is kind of breakneck. You're going from one thing to the next, one to the next. And then like there's long driving sections. There's long like you're in like a boat, like a hovercraft type deal sections. And it's cool. Like the tech is really cool for 2004 especially. I just really want to keep harping on that. Like there's games that I play that are old that I really like. Your Ocarinas, love them. I think that they are dated, but like I really enjoy them. There's games that I don't like particularly. Manhunt, I think, is like not a very good game just in general, but it is old, and it's not because it's old. It's just I just don't think it's very good. And then there's games that I appreciate. I appreciate Half-Life 2 a lot. I think it's a very interesting game. I just don't like it that much. I would give it like a 7 out of 10. I think it's a good game. I just think that it has major pacing issues. The story is whatever in my opinion. And I always thought that the story in Half-Life was supposed to be really good. You have your G-Man. He just barely shows up. Maybe he's more interesting in part 1 and 2 of Half-Life or whatever, like the sequel episodes, but I don't know. It ends on a cliffhanger, which is ridiculous. So I just felt like extremely unsatisfied. I was like, all right, I guess it's just over now. It's fine. Like it's a good game and I enjoyed playing it, but I don't think that it's like one of the greatest games of all time. Like some people seem to think it is. When it came out, was it one of the greatest games of all time? I can absolutely see that. That makes perfect sense to me. But playing it in 2024, I'm like, I don't think so. So yeah, that's where I'm at on Half-Life 2.
Nice. I think that with everything you said, I'm probably never playing this game.
Yeah, you would not like this game.
Yeah, I think that I'd be totally out on it, which is one of those things that I'm so excited that you got to play this and not me. But when we do streaming schedule and everything, we talk through like, hey, this is something I've heard you want to play. Do you want to do this on stream and everything? And that's how we come to most of our streaming decisions. But when you stepped up and started playing it, I would tune in and I'm like, you'd be like, it's great. And then like slowly but surely you'd be like, it's like all right. And then it'd be like, like it's long.
Here's another thing that I kind of noticed based off of streaming it. The interest in this game, very low. The people don't really give a shit about Half-Life. I think that the people who really like it talk very loudly about it, but I don't think most people care about Half-Life very much. I think people give a shit about Portal. I think people actually give a shit about Left 4 Dead. I think that Half-Life gets mixed in with those like all-time great Valve games, and I don't think that there's this massive fan base that would even warrant a Half-Life 3. I think the only thing Half-Life 3 has going for it is that it is Half-Life 3, and that is this mystical game that people would probably check out because they're like, oh, fuck, we want to see Half-Life 3. But I don't think that there's that many Half-Life fans, honestly, like, honest to God.
I don't hate the take. That should be a hot take one day. Just like game fandoms that are way louder than it perceived, because I do feel like often we talk about like, oh man, this game would be great if we got a remake. I'm like, how many people are buying this copy though? Because Valve knows like what that would do, and obviously the interest in Alex was a lot because it was an amazing VR game, more so than Half-Life 1 and 2. But look, I'm very curious to see if Half-Life 3 gets announced, how many people would hop into Half-Life 3 that have never played Half-Life 1 and 2, and it would be a ton of people, including myself probably.
And you can just tell based off of like the excitement around Sly, playing Sly, people were like, oh, I fucking love Sly. Playing Hollow Knight and Cuphead right now, you playing Cuphead, me playing Hollow Knight, people are like, fucking love these games, and I'm playing Half-Life, and I feel like nobody was coming in and being like, this is some good shit right here. I fucking love Half-Life 2. Like a rare person would pop in and be like, oh, I love this game, and it's like, cool, but it was the fever around Half-Life 2 that I see online was not echoed in our small echo chamber, I guess, but it was worth noting in my opinion. So yeah. Where do you want to go from here, Nick? What are we talking about?
I want to start out with the big dog.
Elden Ring?
I want to talk about Elden Ring.
All right.
So last time we talked, I was not an Elden Lord. Last time we talked about like what we've been playing and everything, I did not go on this grand journey, but I want to go back to February, where I was on stream before FF9 And I was hanging out with the chat, and Shadow the Retreat got a release date, and I immediately said I'm going to beat Elden Ring this year, and then I'm going to beat Retreat. And Connor said, like, not a fucking chance.
Yeah, no chance.
No
shot.
chance. No chance. And I even, like, to some regard, there's moments where I say I'm going to play something. The only games that I've said I'm going to play and then not played since starting the channel all start with Persona.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the only one. Other than that, every single time I say I'm going to play something, I play it.
You do say a lot of things.
I do say a lot of things. But when it comes to playing games, that is a huge thing that I've been really good at since starting this channel of, if I say I'm going to fucking do it, I'm going to do it. And this was an example of, all right, May is going to have to be the time. Like, I'm going to have to go and play after hours May pretty often. And so we start doing that. So my Elden Ring journey really began with hopping into Discord calls with Straw Hat and Accuracy and a few others that aren't coming to mind right now. It's early in the morning, but shout out to everyone that was helping me through the early game of Elden Ring. And we were just having a blast. It was so much fun. And it was very different than the normal Elden Ring experience. I've had the normal Elden Ring experience. I did that back in 2022 in my college apartment where I went anywhere. And I did it. I spent, I think, close to 20-ish hours in Limgrave. And then I got past the first boss and then walked around a little bit. And then I was like, cool, 25 hours in, I need to do something else. I put it down. But I had that experience of having the first step, having my mind blown. One of my favorite moments in gaming. I have a video up on my Instagram of me taking that first step in Elden Ring because it blew my mind. And so now here we are, 2024, and now it's about beating the game. And I forget exactly when, but I explained to Connor and Brady, hey, I want to do a subathon for this. Kaisnat just did one. A lot of streamers are doing it. It's twofold though. I want to do it because I think it'll be a ton of fun, great for the channel, but also I need to beat this game. And this is a great way to put 37 hours into a game real fast. So that's what we did. 60 hours. I rolled credits on it. Some extremely tough boss fights, some extremely heartbreaking moments, because that's what Souls games do to you, is they slowly but surely rip your soul out piece by piece until you win and then you get it all back. It's really brilliant. Yeah, this is one of my favorite games ever. This is one of the best games ever. If we ever did Nick's top 50, this would be number 2, I think, on my list.
Right on.
I am simply perplexed with this world design, the level design, the way that this game makes me feel is up there with all the games that I talk about that tug at my heartstrings, like Final Fantasy VII Remake, like Hi-Fi Rush, and I know that those are such different games than this, where but it's the same sort of spot that it just scratches an itch beyond anything else of, this is as good as it gets with gaming. This is doing something that blows my mind in a completely real way, in the same way that it did in 2022, but it does it over and over and over and over again. The reason I bring up something like Hi-Fi Rush is every single boss battle where the song kicks in and you're just like, holy shit, it's this song, but it's also what's happening on screen in this art style, and it's blowing your mind. And then that happens so many times over. This game does that with world design, boss design, the moments of defeating a boss, the moments of getting your ass handed to by a boss. It's just simply terrific. I cannot believe how amazing base Elden Ring is. It is a masterpiece, 100%. It is a 10 out of 10 video game. I don't know how you make that game better, and I don't know how you develop even an Elden Ring 2. I don't know what that's going to be, because this is just so good. It's unbelievable what the team over at From did here. I could talk about this game forever. I will talk about this game forever. This is one of those games that I'm sorry I'm going to mention on content way too much now for the rest of this year, but also forever. It's just going to happen. I'm sorry. But it is a masterpiece. It is a 10 out of 10. I think this is my 8th 10 ever. And I think it deserves it because it is simply terrific. think that Erdtree adds to it in an amazing way. But the way that this game allows you to play in any way you want, especially for me, which was grind. I wanted to level up. I wanted to get those runes as fast as possible. I wanted to be able to go and defeat bosses as fast as possible. I wanted to get golden seeds to level my flasks as fast as possible so I could be prepared for Erdtree. It didn't matter. It was still extremely satisfying. And every single time a new area would pop up and those words would pop up, whether it was Limgrave or Khalid or just anywhere.
Khaled.
DJ. Sorry. DJ Khaled. It's brilliant. I think it's Caleb.
Oh yeah. You're right.
But it's just amazing. I cannot believe what this game is. Yeah, it's great. 10 out of 10.
Do you think this hurts other open world games for you?
No. And I think that the most important part is I played Elden Ring and I've played Tears of the Kingdom, but I got like way further into Tears of the Kingdom than Elden Ring. And I gave Tears 9.5.
Well, they're both the same kind of vibe of go wherever you want.
Exactly. And that's why I think that it didn't hinder, because I did play Elden Ring before Tears of the Kingdom a little bit.
I'm saying, does it hurt your Ubisoft type games?
No, because it's different vibes. We're like Ubisoft, we're talking about Star Wars Outlaws later this year. I'm so excited to have a mission list and I'm just popping around doing random shit in the galaxy and having a great time. Where for this, it is the most epic experiences. Like there's a part of this gameplay that is just so addicting and so satisfying, whereas that's a completely subsection besides Ubisoft, which is very like for Assassin's Creed, it's / and but not as in an intense or visceral way most times compared to what you get with Elden Ring. But I think that it's okay. I think that that's all right to be like, oh, this is as good as it gets, but I'm not gonna like lower my rating. It doesn't readjust my scale of open world games.
It does for me, just because of the way that it's hard to see such freshness when it comes to open world design and then see the same open world design for the last 20 years that Ubisoft and Guerrilla with Horizon and the like have been just pushing for so long at this point. That the checkboxy, go here, get the quest, go here, kill the thing, come back, grab the pan, go deliver the pan to the person. Like, it's just not fun or as fun as it used to be for me because my eyes have been opened by Breath of the Wild and Elden Ring.
But I think that that's partially like there's a trade-off with the openness, and the biggest trade-off is the story aspects of Tears and Elden Ring, where I love a story-based game. And I think that that's the big headline when you're talking about my top 5, top 10 games. Most of them are story games, or they're very fun games. Like there's not really a overlap of is either very story-based or very, very fun. And for this to be not that at all, but it is just grandiose, I cannot believe that I enjoyed it as much as I did. I'm very excited to hop into other Souls games. I think I'm going to do a lot more streaming Souls on stream next year. Like that's a big plan of mine, is to get some things on the calendar for myself. And whenever you want to play whatever you want to, I know you're cruising through Sekiro right now.
Yeah.
And you'll eventually talk about that on a podcast. But
I'm talking about that today.
Oh, hell yeah. I'm going to tee you up then.
But I don't want to talk about that next.
Okay. But I just think that this is as good as it gets with video games, and I don't think it's going to ruin something else, because you're talking about Star Wars Outlaws. The thing that's really going to push Star Wars Outlaws from like a 7.5 to an 8.5, maybe even 9, is if the story is like unbelievable. And that's what really hits. But the reason that Elden Ring is still a masterpiece in my eyes is I have dug deeper to get more of the story, and I am blown away with how good the story is and how interesting it is. And I cannot tell you like a whole streamlined process of it. I know that there's a lot of gods and siblings, and some of those gods are actually somebody else. They're like the same person. There's some weird shit going on, but every single time that I hear about the story and I get a little bit more of a story piece, I love it. And I really do. I think it's really sick. I'm really excited. They said that they would, if they find the right partner, they would make a movie of this. I'm like, dude, give me a movie that ends with Radon versus Melania. Just do it. Just do it. Just do it. You know that scene from the trailers, right? It is Melania charging Radon and going to the first bloom, and it's so sick, dude. I'm like legitimately, I'm saving up to buy a Buster Sword. This is something that's happened the side of my life. I want to get not like a foam $40, $50 one. I want a $200 sword that can fuck someone up. Okay,
that's Nick's protection for his apartment.
Yeah, 100%. No golf club or baseball
bat. Don't worry,
bat.
babe. I have protection.
But I am now thinking about pivoting some of my just loosey goosey funny money to get something Elden Ring on the shelves or of some sort. I want it so badly.
It's interesting with the storytelling from games. Bloodborne.
Yep.
One of my favorite games of all time. Love it. You got to play Bloodborne.
You're
more in now.
I think
right?
that it's gonna be. I think that's gonna be my last one.
Yeah.
I think that I'm gonna do Sekiro, Dark Souls 3, then Dark Souls 1, then Bloodborne.
Nice.
And I think I'm gonna skip Dark Souls 2. I watched Mikey play all of it. Snowbike Mike, and I was like, oh, this is great and really fun to watch.
Yeah.
I do think that a big frustration is level design and stuff like that.
Oh,
and the boss is not being
good.
It's just not.
That's my first Souls game. I started.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was the first time I played one. I got it on PS3 after the PS4 came out. Very weird. It's one of those situations. But I don't care about the story in FromSoft games at all. Like Bloodborne is one of my favorite games of all time. Couldn't tell you a single thing about the story. I don't give a shit.
Yeah. Well, I didn't care, but I think it's so impressive that there is that,
right.
And for it to be as good as it is like, oh shit. That's pretty rad.
Occasionally people ask me about Bloodborne lore. I'm like,
yeah.
I honestly don't even remember the names of like every single boss that I can name like a bunch of them, but this is one of my favorite games of all time. I just love it's got the sauce. Jacob put out that video about Blood Ring versus Elden Ring. Bloodborne versus Elden Ring. And like Elden Ring is the better game for sure, like on paper. But Bloodborne's got the sauce, dude. It just does. There's just something about Bloodborne, dude.
I just want to throw this out there. Park and Harbor, we fucking got him to say it, that Elden Ring is the better game.
I mean, whenever it comes to FromSoft, and this is what I said when I put Bloodborne at number 2 on the top 50, it's dealer's choice. Whoever you want to put in the FromSoft slot, just put it there.
I'm so curious when I play Sekiro as someone that just loves rhythm-based games a lot. Like, I am a huge fan of Hi-Fi Rush, but also Rock Band and things that just scratch that itch of hitting a button right when you're supposed to is like extremely satisfying. I'm excited to hear what you think about that, but that's not what we're talking about right now. What's the next game you want to hop into?
I want to talk about Killzone 2.
Whoa!
For a little bit of backstory here, I collect retro games, obviously. And usually when I go into a store, I look at PS2, PS1, SNES, N64, Dreamcast games, GameCube.
I was about to say GameCube, yeah.
Those are where I go, usually. I've never gone to the PS3 section, ever. The PS3 games I had were from my childhood, from like just having them like Dead Space 2 I just had, Final Fantasy 13 I just had. Never go to the PS3 section. Until recently, went to the store, they had nothing that I wanted in those aforementioned sections. Like, fuck it, I'll go check out the PS3 games and just kind of scroll through. Picked out Killzone 2, Infamous 2, and Resistance 3, I believe, were the ones that I ended up grabbing.
That's what I said.
Excuse me.
You can talk.
Yeah, you're just looking?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
And then I've gone to a bunch of stores since then and just picked up a bunch of PS3 games, MotorStorm, Little Big Planet, Infamous 1, stoked on all that. So I'm excited to get to those. But I said, fuck it, short game, Killzone 2. I played this a little bit when I was younger, maybe an hour or two, because I remember the first mission or whatever. And I remember it being so gorgeous, so good looking. Oh my God, one of the greatest looking games ever made, Killzone 2. The initial reveal trailer for it, they tried to convince everybody that it was in real time in engine. Looks nothing like that. Like, it does not look even close to that. But I fucking hate this game.
Oh, God.
I hate this game so much, dude. Like, I tried to convince myself that I liked it. First and foremost, there's input lag on purpose Have I told you
You
about this
told
at
me
all?
about this, yeah.
This is crazy talk. They want to make the guns feel heavier, so they make it so when you swing with the stick, like move your gun with the stick, there's a slight input lag. And I tried it on my monitor, I tried it on my CRT television, and I tried it on like an old flat screen, like 720p that should be perfect for HD PS3 games. All feel bad. So it wasn't those. I thought I was the crazy one. I thought I was the problem, but no, it's the game. You aim down the sights with R3, which thank God Call of Duty has just made ubiquitous control schemes
L2
for shooting.
yeah.
That is where that is from. Everybody has just copied them at this point. Like even Halo, like you aim down the sights for some guns in early Halo with R3.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
and it's just like no, that's just wrong. That's just
I like the
inappropriate.
R3.
So it's
on
fine
Halo.
for Halo. It feels awful in Killzone 2. Like the reason I picked up Killzone 2 is like I just want to shoot some shit. You know what I mean? Like I just want to like line up some headshots and have some tight gunplay. Got none of that. I was running and gunning half the time just because it felt better and it didn't look good. It didn't feel good. It just was like this is getting me through the level faster. This is maybe the ugliest game I've ever played in my entire life. It's the PS3 era is in such a weird spot where PS2 like is more cartoony, and even the games that are going for more realism have like art style and direction. PS3 is in that era. The early PS3 is in that era where like everything is gray and brown, and they're going for realism, but it does not look good today because it's a PS3 game. So like everything looks muddy and gross. Like all the characters' faces look just awful. Like, and then like the levels, there's only 3 distinct areas that I would say like these are the levels in particular that all look pretty similar. Don't feel any different. Did not like that aspect of it. The guns there's only one gun that has an actual sight on it, which pissed me off. The AR that the army men have, that the I think it's the ISA or something like that. Your crew has. They have like a green like holographic scope or whatever, or like a red dot scope on, and like that's cool to use. But then you pick up the Hellgas weapons, and they all have iron sights, which just is annoying to me. Like I don't know why. Like every single other gun in the game, other than the one that they give you originally, is not good. Like it just like. Whatever, like it doesn't feel good to use this. It looks bad. It's not fun to use. There was one gun that was like a bolt gun that was kind of cool. That was like way later in the game. Then there was an electricity gun that was kind of cool. That was way later in the game. So like it got a little bit better at points when I was using those weapons, and I was like, this is kind of nice. But for the most part, I think I would give this game like a 4 out of 10.
Whoa.
I did not like it at all. Like there's very little, like the story and the characters, horrible. Just so bad. I could not tell you. I finished this yesterday, and I could not tell you a single thing about what happened in this game.
So this is where I get curious. Because obviously you say this game sucks, and I have no interest in
It is a
ever
91 on
playing
Metacritic.
it. Really?
Isn't that insane?
Ooh.
And I said in the Discord, I was like, well, this is the era where people like Gears of War was good too. So like,
Damn.
it reminds me of that so much.
My question is 4 out of 10.
Uh-huh.
What makes it redeeming more so than a 1, a 2, or a 3?
It's not broken.
I think a 1 is a broken game,
Yeah.
but like, why not 2 or 3? Because you make a case for
Like
a
the
2 or 3?
shooting is fine. Like there was some fun to be had. Like
Okay.
I didn't hate my experience with it, but like so I would say that my overall experience with it is like a 5. Like it's just like I had a fine time with it, but then I like poke holes with like the visuals and the gun variety and the story and characters. I'm like, the story and characters bad, the gun variety bad, the visuals bad, or whatever. Like these are bad.
So what makes it a fine time?
So bad doesn't necessarily mean awful. Like there's different degrees. Like good and great are 2 different things. There's bad and awful. They're all bad things. They're all 4 out of 10 things. Nothing in the game is a 3 out of 10.
So the reason that I say that is I think 1, personal scaling. 1 is like dog shit, broken. 2 is like there might be one part of this game that I enjoyed. 3 is bad. So that's why I'm like, why is 4?
3 is awful.
For me, 3 is
4
bad.
is bad.
For
5
me,
is meh.
5 is mid. 4 is like it's mid, but I had a few moments.
I'm
of
not giving
levity.
this game a 3. I had a
Okay.
fine time. Like I had a fine time playing it.
We're just talking semantics. I'm mainly just curious about like
Semantics.
yeah, schematics.
Semantics.
Semantics.
We're saying the same thing.
I know. Dude, I just want to like throw this out there one more time. I am running off of pure caffeine that Connor provided me and the love of Elden Ring. Like I am
Nick said
so
it's till 3
tired.
a.m. and we started. I got here at 8:30.
Yeah, so I got 5.5 hours of sleep, but I did sleep in on Saturday for the first time in so long,
That
dude.
is nice.
So nice.
Yeah.
And
So Killzone 2 sucks. Don't like it. There will be a return to retro video on it, which is PS3 a retro game. Maybe, I guess. I just really want to talk about this game, honestly, because like I have so much to dig into on it that I just am like,
you want to write a script?
that.
Let this dude write a script.
All right, what do you want to hop into now, Nick?
I want to hop into an indie, and that indie I'm going to go with Undertale.
Nice.
What can you say about Undertale that hasn't been said hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands of times at this point? It is greatness at an indie level. The question remains often, Nick, why do you review things so high? And I don't feel like you can review this game too high. Do I think it's a 10 out of 10 game? No. I think that there's some frustrating points of this game. More so than ever being the lack of direction of if you kill one person, you are locked into a neutral playthrough. And if you... the
worst playthrough.
Yeah, which everyone would agree is the worst playthrough. But I fucking loved this game. Even playing through a neutral playthrough, I would give it a 9.5 on the Co-op 64 scale. And I think that there is a case for those that really love this game, for the people that really bang the drum on this one, that you can say it's a 10 out of 10 masterpiece if you want.
I would give it an 8 out of 10. I think.
Really?
It's great.
Yeah. I think the music alone is
it's
top
so
10 in gaming, period. That like maybe number 2 or 3 for me ever. Like it's unbelievable. I listen to the soundtrack almost every day at work. I just keep on going and scratching that itch of, all right, it's 10 a.m. I got to go and shoot out some emails. And when I'm shooting out emails, I can't listen to anything with words because I have to type. Mm-hmm. And then I'll just throw that bad boy on, and oh my god, it's so good.
It's really good. Made by one person, Toby Fox.
I know Toby Fox is in his bag on that one. So yeah, I think that the music is top tier. I think the art style top tier. I think the gameplay is so
unique.
Good.
Yeah.
What you're able to do with a heart in a box is unbelievable. I think the characters are extremely unique and memorable, and the way that the game purposely tugs on your heartstrings is really terrific. I think that I had a conversation with my buddy Matt Lucid after this game where he talked about how unique it was that core game mechanic that you have of trying to go for mercy is taken away from you at one point in this game is simply mind-shattering at how it is able to take what a player is able to do on the sticks and then take that away, and something you can only do in a video game.
Yeah.
When it comes to storytelling, which shout out to him for that conversation. We talked about it for like 2 hours. It was awesome. But my appreciation for Undertale even grew more so by that conversation. This game is the ultimate cozy game, I think. I think that a winter playthrough, not this year, because I think the winter's going to be pretty busy for us with getting ready for 2025 and seeing what that has to offer and Game Awards and all that good stuff, finishing out our backlog for this year. But I think next year, Switch 2 comes out. Perfect game to go and just get some hot cocoa going and play Undertale on that bad boy. Did you have a point?
No, I mean, okay. I think I might hop into this later this year at some point. It's been long enough. I think I played it in 2019, 2020 for the first time, and I did a neutral playthrough as well because there was no direction on you should either choose one or the other and not do the middle ground. Like I had no idea. So I just played it all the way through and I finished it. I was like, that was pretty good. I liked that. That was a great game. And I do think that the gameplay is exceptional. It's so unique. Like exactly. How do you even come up with that? And then how do you make it the idea that's so simple, so fun for the entire playthrough and continue to like just add on layers, change things up, keep things fresh. Like I really do think it's excellent, and I love the art design. I love the story is very interesting and very cute. Despite everything, it's still you. One of the greatest lines in gaming ever. I fucking love it. I get why this game is so beloved by so many people.
Yeah.
So it's not one of those situations. I mean, like, I know people are going to be mad at 8 out of 10. It is a great game. It's great. It's great.
For me, everything though is exceptional. Like, I don't know a takeaway from it other than the fact that there's that lack of direction originally, and then a lot of people get upset with me in our chat for murdering someone that is beloved. But
I murdered them too.
I know.
I thought that was what you were supposed to do.
I didn't think I was murdering them.
I didn't even
though.
think you had an option. Like I didn't know.
Exactly, but I think that that's part of the brilliance of this game is living with the weight of your decisions, and they make it very clear towards the end of this game to live with the weight of your decisions. It is really good. This game is really freaking good, and I haven't had a day that's gone by after beating it that I've not thought about this game. So Undertale. 9.5 out of 10. Like I said at the start of this year, I'm just in my bag playing the best games I've ever played. And we'll get to some games later in this discussion that are some of the best games I've ever played. So shout out to everyone that's been on this journey, especially on the streaming side, that have been just watching me honestly play banger after banger. And it's always tough to hear you be like, Half-Life 2 just isn't it, and I'm like playing Undertale, being like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Like,
So far, I'm like, Half-Life 2 isn't it. Killzone 2 fucking sucks.
and I'm like, masterpiece, 9.5 out of 10. Like, it's awesome. I'm definitely in what I like to call like my gaming renaissance of finally really hitting out the backlog of just bangers that I've missed over the years.
All right, let's talk about some good games then for me.
All right.
Where
are you going?
To Hollow Knight.
Woo!
Let's talk about Hollow Knight. I have played 6 hours of this game on stream now. I've gotten well past where I had originally gotten on my own personal time, my own personal playthroughs. It's excellent. It's a great video game. Do I so far get it in the way that other people talk about it? No, but I've heard that it gets better and better and better as it goes along. Like the litmus test for me is, do I understand the hype for Silksong yet? And no, I don't. Like I'm excited for Silksong, but I'm not like frothing at the mouth for Silksong. So playing this, I'm really enjoying it. It's a great Metroidvania. I think the art style is fantastic. The music, the music in the section that I'm currently at, oh my God, it's so good, dude. It's so like eerie, but serene and just like comforting. It's very strange, but very good. I love me some piano in game music. So it's really great. The boss fights so far have been very interesting and fun to play, but not difficult. I have beaten every single one so far in 1 or 2 tries, which I thought that this game was supposed to be hard, is what a lot of people said. So I expected to die a lot on bosses. No, I've died a ton to mobs, just like in the world. That's where I've died almost exclusively at this point. But for the most part, I'm going into boss fights and fighting them in their first and second phases, learning their patterns, and then the second time I have to fight them, I'm like, oh, yeah, I got it. We're good. And then it's just about delivering the goods. And it's super fun. Like I love that process of learning those patterns and coming out on top. It's every Souls type game. But for the most part, I've been a little bit underwhelmed by the difficulty. I wish it was more difficult. And then when it is difficult in the open world or open area, the map, I am annoyed by how often I am dying and how far I have to retread to the same area. There is something about your Prince of Persia, The Lost Crowns, or like Celeste, where when you're in those platforming sections, it's just putting you like right at the front of the room.
Yeah.
Like, just let me try it again. Like, I don't want to have to go back to a bench and have to retread the same area over and over again because I can't pull off a particular platforming area. That's a skill issue for sure. That's my bad, but it is something that is annoying me. Like, I think I spent like an hour of the last stream just retreading the same area. There was one section where I could not get the wall jump platforming down, and I was dying and having to retread the same section over and over again. It just was not very fun. So I think it's great. I'm having a great time with it. Those are some negatives, but for the most part, when it comes to art direction, music, sound design, honestly, combat feels fantastic. They keep on adding new layers that make it super fun. But even just the act of jump, dodge, slash down, slash to the side, do like the burst attack, all of that, mixing all of that in, and they're continuing to add new abilities and such. I'm having a great time. So is it the greatest game I've ever played? No, I'm still early. We'll see how it goes, but I am looking forward to it every single week on Wednesday, playing it on stream. Like I like can't, like I wish I could be playing it right now. So yeah, I really love it. I think it's great.
Awesome. Dude, I'm so jealous at times of the games that you're playing. Like I said, I think that we both get to see with the streaming schedule and everything what the other guy's playing and being like, man, I want to be playing Hollow Knight right now. But I'm not playing Hollow Knight right now. I'm playing Cuphead. So this is just the indie rock block, apparently. We go in Undertale into Hollow Knight into Cuphead.
Yeah.
So I'm like 4 out of 10 games, dude. These
People
games
really
suck.
love their indies because the stream numbers for Undertale were really good. And then Cuphead and Hollow Knight, people really are all about it.
We just, obviously, we say it pretty often. We're pretty dumbfounded with the Twitch numbers right now. We're very, very thankful to see how many people are really making us part of their weekly routine. It's really, really special. So thank you so much for coming out to those, because I think that Twitch streaming for me, more and more as this year's gone along, has just been like one of my favorite things, especially with some of the subathons and everything. Cuphead. I'm playing it on stream right now. I'm 6 hours in. And I am just apparently a glutton for pain at this point, playing Erdtree and Cuphead and Elden Ring. And honestly, Ori the Blind Forest isn't the easiest bout either. Like,
Undertale has some challenging sections too.
I am just getting smoked, dude.
Watching you is so
smoked. Oh my gosh, it's consistently brutal, dude. I am getting torn apart by Cuphead. With that being said,
it's so good.
It's so freaking good.
So good.
Music, art style,
Unreal.
Overarching story. Like, I actually am nervous about these adorable little cups. You know, like I want them to save their souls. I think that this game is brilliant. I think that I'm not going to put a score on it as of right now. It's only 6 hours in, but definitely leaning on that higher side between that 8 to 9.5 area. I'm keeping a wide breadth on that one.
I would give this a 9.
Yeah, I thought you'd be around there. I think when it's all said and done, I'll be around there. It's great. I really, really enjoy every single piece of this game. I think that it is unbelievably great.
How do you feel about the challenge?
Oh, I think that it's insanely difficult. But also, I'm playing this while I'm playing Erdtree.
Is it satisfying?
Oh, it's so satisfying.
Yeah.
It's so stinking satisfying. It's insanely difficult, but the moments that you beat these bosses, you are elated in the same way that you are with the Souls-like, in the same way that you are with an everyday challenge that you overcome. That, like, I know that this is about to sound really dumb, but these games have put me in the right frame of mind in my life recently. Like, the idea of having immense levels of challenge and then being able to overcome it has proven to me in my everyday life. And I think Connor's even noticed that over these past couple of weeks, like, I've been getting some shit done. I've been doing the damn thing outside of playing games because I want to be my best self. I want to overcome my challenges that I have in my everyday life because of what I'm doing within gaming, which I think is really fucking cool. And I just want to shout that out. I don't know, it might be a hot take one day or something, but gaming in the way that you can overcome certain things in these difficult games really does relate to overall life. Anyways, getting back to Cuphead, every single moment I'm having a blast. I think that this is a great stream game. Obviously, the numbers say so. A lot of people are enjoying watching me die over and over again, but I think it's a great game because there are those moments of, it doesn't matter if you're dialed in or not, the moments that you start getting towards the end of the level, and I hate, but more importantly love, that they show you how far you got into the freaking level.
Yeah, I think that is such a masterful part of this game, and it's so funny because I hate when you can't see the boss's HP in games. Cannot stand that. But in Cuphead, it's perfect.
Yep.
The way that like you know that you're close. You know that you're close, and then you feel that tense feeling in your chest, but you don't know for sure how close you are. But you know you're close, and then you get that knockout on the screen. You're like, yes! But then you lose sometimes, and you see the guy right next to the flag, and you're like, ah! It's so good.
It's
that
so
feeling of like
good.
of just high and low is so amazing in this game. I think it's immaculate, man.
Yeah,
I love it.
I generally think that end screen is one of those game mechanics that is necessary to discuss grand scheme of difficult games and the way that they were able to do it so well and being like, hey, Cuphead did that. We should get one of those in our game.
Right.
I think that is really, really brilliant.
The fact that they went so hard in the art style and then also were like, oh, we're also going to make a really good game is really impressive.
Yeah.
This game had a ton of buzz for it just for the art style. It didn't really need to be like one of the greatest games of all time to sell well. And then they made one of the greatest games of all time and it's like, all right, you're going to be one of the best games of all time now. So like overall. So yeah, I think it's immaculate. What were you about to say? Yeah.
I think that the way that it builds tension too, like you brought up, is so good. With just wanting and pleading with the game to be like, come on, yes, and then he pops up knockout. My thing that I wanted to say though, mention real quick, is I'm waiting for somebody to acknowledge every single time it says a knockout, I go and do a very specific voice from a very niche thing in pop culture. Not very niche, but like niche enough.
Yeah.
And I'm waiting for someone to realize the voice I'm doing.
Somebody's going to go back and watch the VODs now.
Nobody's done it. And I'm confused. But it's very niche. I'll let you know after the show.
Okay.
But it's really good. If you watch the VOD, come back to this video.
How do you feel about the
and let me know.
How do you feel about the I noticed you haven't been doing like a lot of the upgrades. Like you have the dash.
Yeah.
And then do you have any secondary attack?
Yeah, I just bought one.
Which one?
The
red one?
The shotgun.
The red one.
Yeah. It's like
The three?
if you're close and then 3-round burst. I believe.
That one's so good, dude. If you can get really close, like if there's opportunities to get close to them,
you're just doing big damage.
by God, you need to get that
but
one.
I just bought it. I haven't been able to utilize it yet.
It's really good. That one's really good. And then the heat-seeking one, the green one, for Grim Matchstick, that was the only way I could get through it. Because all I had to do was focus on dodging when I was doing the Grim Matchstick, and you can just hold this down and it'll heat sink to them. It's lesser damage, but at the very least, you can just constantly be doing damage.
Put damage on them. I think that this game's great, and I'm very excited to talk more about it. But I wanted to throw this out there. It's going to be a fun one to do this in reverse and everything. I know we're doing the tier list and everything. I want to talk so much about Erdtree, especially after the review fact of just like telling a couple stories from this review process. It's going to be a lot of fun. But yeah, that came to mind. I just want to make sure I said that before I forgot before the next pod.
Alrighty, next up, we're going to go to Sekiro. How do you say this? Sekiro?
Yeah.
A lot of people say Sekiro, and it just perplexes me. I don't know how to say it correctly, honestly. Somebody's going to correct me and tell me that I'm saying it wrong, but Sekiro. I am through about 30% of the game now, is what I've been told, which is I got past the last boss that I got to when I dropped the game the first time. I did not drop it because it got skill checked. I dropped it just because I was doing something else. I don't know why or what it was, but I was just like, I'll get back to this, and I never did. Well, until now. This game's excellent. It's hard. It's not crazy hard yet. I'm on the boss that I think a lot of people consider to be one of the harder ones from what I have seen on the internet. Just from like people, I remember when this game first came out and like people would clip certain bosses, and I remember seeing this boss. He's at the top of a castle, of a tower.
I think I know the one you're talking about.
And I don't think he's that difficult. The one thing is that, man, like I didn't know there was a third phase. There's always
didn't know? I think I know the boss you're talking about. You didn't know?
Yeah, so there was 2 phases, and I literally stood up and said, yes, like last night, because I think it took me like 10 tries or so to get to that point. And then then a cutscene started, and I was like, oh, no. And then I died immediately. Yeah. After that, I was like, okay, I'm going to bed. But for the most part, I love the parry mechanic. I think it feels amazing. There's other like skills that I'm getting that I'm learning to implement more. The feeling of somebody's doing one of the red attacks where they're lunging at you, and you can dodge forward on top of the sword and like stand on it, and then like you can hit them. Oh, it feels really good. Makes a really satisfying sound. But the one thing I have noticed about the parry is that I don't feel like it's almost too forgiving, if that makes sense. Like against the boss that I'm fighting right now, like I feel like I'm just spamming that bad boy, and it's working for the most part. There is some level of like a perfect parry and just a block. I don't know always when I'm hitting one or the other, but I'm not taking damage. I know that. So for the most part, I'm parrying pretty well, and I think it's forgiving enough that it makes me feel good, but I kind of wish it was a little bit more challenging, so I had to perfect it, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Like, I almost feel like Stellar Blade has a better parry.
Whoa.
Where I was like, this feels visceral and punchy and, like, very satisfying, and I knew that, like, when I was hitting that parry, I was hitting the parry. Here, it feels like I can just spam that bad boy sometimes and nail it. So that's just something I kind of noticed. It's not really detracting much from the experience for me, but for the most part, I'm having a great time. The story aspects, there's more story in this game than other Souls games that I've played, and I still don't care about it for the most part. It's just not in your face enough for me to want to follow it, if that makes sense. Like, I have the broad strokes down, but like I don't really know what's going on. And I don't know if I feel like I've never heard anybody talk about Sekiro's story.
Not at all.
For the most part.
It's all combat.
It's cool to go from combat section to combat section. I am a little bit lost on exactly where I'm supposed to go. I don't think I'm supposed to be where I am right now, honestly. But it's one of those situations where this game is not an RPG. You can level up and get new skills, but you're not leveling up your stats. You have to get certain items to level up certain, like your attack power by beating certain bosses, and you can get more health by getting seeds? No. There's the seeds that give you more flasks, and then there's something else. It's like a pearl or a bead or something that gives you need 4 of them, and it will, at least for now, it's 4 of them, and that'll give you more health and attack or something. And that's cool. Like but that what I'm saying is that when you're going to a certain boss, it's like it's not like I can go level up and come back and fight them. Like it's just get good. Yeah. Which is cool. I do like that aspect, but I just want to make sure I'm going to the right spot because I can just technically go anywhere. Because there's like a branching path, and I don't know if I'm supposed to go that way or this way. I don't like that about Souls games in general. I want to make sure that I'm doing the right thing. So I did look up a guide, and I'm like, should I be up here? And I think it said no, but I think I should have gone to do the other thing first. But I think that's an optional area, so it's fine. I don't necessarily love that it's not an RPG. I kind of wish that you could level up, but I do appreciate that it does give it some level of a distinction between other Souls games along with its combat. So yeah, I think the traversal and everything is super fun as well. I'm stealthing a lot in this game. I'm getting behind people. You can cheese a lot of areas though because of this. You're up high from grappling up to it. You drop on top of somebody, kill them, then go back into cover, wait for everybody to stop. And then go kill somebody else. Go back. There's a big guy like walking around. You can just go fall on top of him and get him from behind. And then there's another big guy, and then you just go hide and then wait for him to turn around and then come back and kill him. Like I've stealthed entire areas where it's like I just don't really need to do any fighting, which is cool. Like it's a nice aspect. Do I feel like it's as satisfying as just actually fighting? No, but I would rather take the easy way and make sure that I'm actually not dying than if you do the more fun way of having to fight 6 people at once, you know? So yeah. I'm okay with that though. Yeah, I think Sekiro is great. I thought about going in the Discord and streaming it last night because I was doing that one boss. I might do that tonight, honestly.
Heck yeah.
Just throw it in there and just be like,
I'll have you up while I'm
I might not talk. I might just have it going.
I thought last night about going and just filming the boss that I was facing over and over again, but I realized I was like, what if I don't beat it and I've been like filming for 3 hours? Like what if that because that would be demoralizing. But yeah, no, it's streaming and just having other people watch is a lot of fun.
But it does have that feeling, man, of every Souls game of You're just on the edge. You're
Oh,
really
yeah.
close. I was so close to, or I thought I was so close to beating that boss up top like 6 times, and I finally did beat him. And then there was a third phase, like fuck. But dude, Laura, so I play in the office. I moved it into the office so Laura could have the TV in the living room, and I'm sitting in there, and Laura like will pop in and be like, hey, or like come in and give me like a kiss on the forehead or something.
Just being adorable.
Just being adorable, and she'll walk into the room, and I'll be like close to the boss. And I'll literally be like. Because I am locked in, and I'm like, if you come in right now and I die, I am going to be very upset. So I'm like, come back in like 5 seconds, please. Like, it's very funny though, because like it just brings something out of you, this level of stress and on like just being on edge during these boss fights that is unlike anything else. So
Are you swearing?
every single time I fight, it like lose.
All right. Oh yeah. Have you gotten to swear levels?
Yeah, I mean, I swear every single time
Yeah.
or I'm like fuck.
Yeah, because for me, as a good Christian boy, it normally starts out with like, okay, all right, that sucks, and then it gets to the point where some of those deaths hit, and you're just swearing as much as you possibly can.
It's just so frustrating because it's on you half the time.
Oh, yeah.
Where like you're just mad at yourself. Like
Yep.
I will just find myself, they have very little health left, and then they'll pull out like a red attack, the ones that you can't like easily dodge, and like I'll like dash into them and just go straight into their sword, and it's like that's totally on me. I'm so dumb, and I'm like, you idiot. Like I'm talking to myself though, which is frustrating. But yeah, I for the most part, if I die early in a fight, it's like, whatever. But if I die late in a fight, it's like, fuck, man. Like, that sucks. So, yeah. Next up, we are moving on to one of Nick's final 2 games. What do you want, Nick? Technically, final 3.
Yeah, we're going to do my last section back to back, I think, right? Like, that's the intention there. My next game is Resident Evil 2. And I need to just say it. And I think that this is one of the really odd occurrences, because normally when Connor and I disagree on something, I'm higher than Connor.
Yeah.
I'm lower than you on Resident Evil 2 by quite a bit.
Wow.
I think it's a great game. I'll give it an 8 out of 10. I think it's really enjoyable. I don't think it's close to Resident Evil 4. Close
It's
to
so,
Resident
they're
Evil 4
different, dude.
Oh, they are different, but I'm talking about like, what would you where would you line both of those up?
I think Resident Evil 4 original is better than Resident Evil 2 remake.
I know. What do you think Resident Evil 2 remake is better than Resident Evil 4 remake?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, okay.
I think from like a horror perspective, it's way better.
Oh, it's way scarier for sure. Yeah. And I do think that there's some epic moments in that game. I didn't have a moment spoiled for me, which like I don't know if you saw on camera the moment that I was like, wait. I didn't know I got to play this section later in the game right before the ending.
As this character. Yeah.
And so I was like, oh shit, like the total shocker to me, which was really cool.
Did you know they were even in the game?
I did.
Okay.
But I didn't know that they were I don't even know if I did.
If people don't know who we're talking about, they're like, what the fuck are they talking about? But people who do, I assume they know who we're talking about.
They know exactly who we're talking about. But
you played
it's
Leon's
amazing.
campaign.
Yeah, I played
Important
Leon's
to know,
campaign. I did not play Claire's. I don't think I'll ever go back to play Claire's at this point, because I think that this game is great. I had a great experience with it. I think that it is really good horror. Like, I think that is a rock solid horror game, great gameplay, good story, good mechanics. Like, I think that the horror aspects in Mr. X is as annoying as everyone says he is. I don't.
Mr. X is awesome.
Like, he's cool, but he's just a nuisance. But he's supposed to be.
But yeah, he's a nuisance by definition. But like, he's fucking like, that's one of the coolest game mechanics ever, dude.
Yeah,
I love it.
It is simply terrifying, yes. But I think that the ending of that game is great. Story wise, I think it is a little bit paint by the numbers.
Yeah.
Of what's happening and what you're trying to do and everything. But when it comes to the overarching level design, I think that that's Resident Evil. It's so good.
So much better in my opinion than 4 when it comes to being a Resident Evil game. You know what I mean? Like what you expect from Resident Evil 1 into 2. Like 2 has the puzzles, has the location. The Raccoon City Police Department is a location. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's nothing in Resident Evil 4 that I think even comes close to that.
I think that the reason that I love Resident Evil 4 as much as I do, and I rate it as high as I do, is I always say, I don't ever say it is horror perfection. I think that is action horror like perfection. Like the action aspects of it and the way that at moments it's a cheesy action movie and the cast is so good in what's happening. I'm okay with giving up the sacrifice of like having this almost concealed area, which is the Raccoon City Police Department, compared to Section 1, which is the first 4 chapters of Resident Evil 4, Section 2, the next 5, and then the next 5. I really, really enjoy Resident Evil 4 and the way that it plays out. I think that Resident Evil 4 like is one of those games that it's as good as it gets when it comes to not just gaming, but really horror action gaming. Where this being a little bit more of a horror experience, it didn't go like crazy with the horror. It didn't go crazy with any of the gameplay. I think that the mechanics in this game, like Resident Evil does it really, really well. I'm just like, once again, great game. 8 out of 10. I'm not calling this a bad game. I'm not even calling it a 7.5 or anything like that. I'm between that 8.5 area. But I think when it's all said and done, I'm just like, yeah, it's a great time. And I think that this is a good play for anyone. I don't think I'm nearly as high as you or Brady. Even like Brady leaving out was like, oh yeah. And I'm like, oh yeah, like it was great. So
weird. I don't know. I like Resident Evil 2 for different reasons than you seem to like Resident Evil in general, if that makes sense.
Sure.
Like I like it for the horror. You're not a big horror guy in general.
But I love Resident Evil 7, and because that game is terrifying.
Resident Evil 7 more than 2?
Yeah. I gave 7 a 9 out of 10.
Wild.
7's a 9. It's a 4 remake is a 9.5, and this is an 8.
Your scores are just really high for things, dude. I would give Resident Evil 7 an 8, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you gave this a 9.
Yeah.
And then you would give RE4 a 9.5.
Right.
So how is it? We have the same average. My scores aren't that high.
Yeah.
We have the same average for the 3 games.
I guess you're right. Yeah. When you put it that way.
Literally the exact same.
Yeah.
But no, I really enjoyed my time with it. It was a great stream game. Our whole schedule has been so fucked the past couple weeks, but it's allowed me to play some really cool games because we've been waiting for you to finish up God of War, and
I'm not even that far behind schedule on God of War. I'm 1 week behind.
Yeah, you're 1 week behind, but also you're 1 week off of what we originally projected. But also, I had a scheduled Monday stream for some reason for after SGF, so that put it 2 weeks behind.
Yeah.
And then now here we are. I'm playing Cuphead and I'm having a delightful time. But something I didn't realize was I wasn't streaming Thursday when I was looking at the schedule because we're away on Thursday. Also, we won't be streaming on. Well, this goes up after the fact. But yeah, it's really odd and exciting to be like, oh, I'm probably playing Cuphead that Tuesday and then maybe that Thursday, depending on how long it takes. Dude, Kingdom Hearts 2, I cannot wait at this point. I'm seeing consistently TikTokers on TikTok Live playing Kingdom Hearts and Final Fantasies because
me too.
They know what I want.
Right.
they know what I want. And so I'm just going and like clicking on and being like, oh, dude, I'll see Kingdom Hearts 1. I'm like, hell yeah, I can watch all this. I'll see Kingdom Hearts 3 and be like, I'm confused. And then I see Kingdom Hearts 2. I'm like, I know so much of Kingdom Hearts 2. When we did the draft the other week for Kingdom Hearts Worlds, I was like, I know what happens here. This is really late in the game and I know what happened. So like, I feel like I've seen all of it.
I was playing in front of you for our entire childhood. And so, yeah. But I'm excited to finally beat it and do it. And the funny part with Kingdom Hearts 2 is I think unless you get me on like a subathon or something like that, I don't know if I ever beat Kingdom Hearts 1 in my entire life. Yeah.
I don't have any desire to do it. It's hard. The level design is like, It's a great story. I've watched you play the entirety of it. So like I've experienced every bit of this story. I don't know if I'm ever going to play it, but I'm so excited to play Kingdom Hearts 2. Yeah. I can see myself playing Kingdom Hearts 2 multiple times in my life, even after this. But yeah.
By the way, when I say Kingdom Hearts 1 is hard, I mean that it's hard to get through in the modern age.
Yeah.
Like especially with direction. It's just so lacking in direction. Even playing it on stream when we played it last year, I was like, I've speedrun this game and I forget exactly where to go.
Watching the Latin world and everything, I was like, what the fuck are we doing? And then the Little Mermaid world, I was like, oh my, what are we doing with this level design? Like, I don't know where the fuck we're going.
Alrighty, so my last game, we're talking about Beautiful Joe, or Beautiful Joe as Nick says.
Oh, okay. I want to there's been so many new fans since this moment. The first video that we ever had pop off was our GameCube top 10 list. And we do the guessing list. We're very excited about it. We didn't understand that this was going to be seen by more than 10,000 people. That wasn't even in the like realm of possibility that one of our videos could get more than 10,000 views. I edit this video after going on a date with the girl that I was with at the time, and I am exhausted. I'm super tired. I was up all night the night before, and now it's like 5 p.m. after going on like a long date. And I am editing this video, and I share it, and I save it, and I send it to Connor. Or at this point, I don't even think I sent videos to you or anything like that.
No.
I didn't send it for you to post, but I don't even think we watched it together or anything like that.
So now I check
Connor
all
does
the videos.
all the checks all the
I
videos
do
for
the QA.
spelling, and he does all of the posting for us, which is amazing, and I adore him for it. And so at this point, I go and we post a video, and I at this point have never heard of Beautiful Joe. So, and also at this point, now I look up the list to like have next to me when I'm doing the spelling and everything to make sure that it's correct and like make it easier on myself to just be like, okay, number 7 is this game. But I didn't know that there was a game called Beautiful Joe, and I heard Beautiful Joe. So I typed in Beautiful Joe as like number 7, Beautiful Joe. And this video has like 1.3 million views now. And like the number 2 comment is just Beautiful Joe. And then there's like 70 more comments to say Beautiful Joe. And all those comments have like hundreds of likes. And I have never just felt so moronic because it was our first video ever that popped off.
Yeah.
Ever. And all of a sudden it's Saturday night. And Connor and I are playing Valorant with the boys. We're having a great time. We're having a laugh. And all of a sudden, he's like, oh, by the way, you misspelled something. And I'm like, this video's at like 10,000 views and I misspelled something. This video's at 20,000 views and I misspelled something. This video's at 100,000 views and I misspelled something. And it just keeps going up. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm so excited this is doing well, but why does it have to fucking beat this one? So every single time we bring up Beautiful Joe, it gets brought up to be Beautiful Joe. For all those who do not know, I think that is a very fun and ridiculous co-op 64 story. So yeah, I just wanted to mention all
go.
that.
So I'm playing it right now.
Yeah.
An 8-hour video game that I've already spent 8 hours with. I have stopped playing it for the last week or so I really don't have too much to say outside of what I said on the podcast last time, which will be 2 podcasts ago from this one. This is very confusing. But I just think it is so challenging, but very rewarding. And I think it's a very unique game. I love the art style. I think that the slow down, speed up mechanic is super fun, super interesting. The goofiness of the story and Joe, and I think it's like Captain Blue, and he's going in, he gets sucked into a movie world to save his girlfriend. It's very early 2000s, and it's inappropriateness and all that. So it's fun. I've been looking up guides to make sure that I'm doing the right thing, or like if I'm really struggling on a boss, I want to see somebody else do it and be like, oh, okay, this is what this looks like to deliver the goods. This is very light spoilers for the end of this game.
3, 2, 1.
For a
go.
game that came out in like 2005.
I know. It just always gives people time to click out of the video.
The final level is, and I've struggled on all the bosses so far. The final level, you have no continues, and it's all the bosses. I'm like, I don't know if I can. I literally don't know if I can do that. Like, I don't know if I have the strength to do that. Like, if I beat this game, it'll be a fucking miracle. So, like, I'm enjoying playing like shorter PS3 games right now. Like, it's been fun to do that, and I'm playing Sekiro. Like, I don't know, really want to dive deep into that, but man, like, I really got to get back to Beautiful Joe and really power the metal, see if I can actually achieve.
Just take a Saturday morning. Just wake up on a not
and
next
beat
Saturday.
the game.
Yeah.
Nick, a Saturday morning, if I sat down for 8 hours, I would get through 2 levels.
Yeah.
3 levels, maybe. I have.
You have to go
There's
through.
16 levels, and I've beaten 4 of them or 5 of them.
Yeah, just take a Saturday morning.
It's gonna take me forever to beat this game, and I'm enjoying it. It's fun, but like, man, it's hard. Something in your mustache. No, let me.
You going after?
Yeah.
Oh,
There you go.
there we go. There's some brekkie. All right. Is that all you got to say? Breakfast. I assume that was
Okay.
like a piece of.
I don't
a
know.
wake-up
Just
wrap
shut
or
up right
something.
now. I don't know. It might have
Yeah.
been a booger or something.
Oh,
I just
jeez.
take it out of your nose.
Anyways, are we ready for my last game?
Yeah, let's hear about Metal Gear.
So Undertale, we discussed, and I said that I listened to the music of Undertale almost every day at work at this point. A game that will stick with me for a very long time. Metal Gear Solid 2 and Metal Gear Solid 3 we were discussing today. Because the last time we talked, I talked about my experience with Metal Gear Solid 1. And it was a brilliant game, and I think it's one of the best games I've ever played. To start this conversation, when we talk about the ethereal Nick top 50, that will never happen. It won't happen. It won't happen.
It won't happen.
It won't happen. It won't happen in the way that Connor did it ever. I will never write scripts.
Nick can't write. I mean, like, I love you, buddy.
Write.
Like,
I cannot write.
I've had to proofread some of the stuff he's written. I'm like, dude, like,
it's not great.
I think I'm a bad writer. I have imposter syndrome when it comes to my writing.
I think you're a great writer.
I know. But like, I'm hard on myself. Like,
but then Connor sees me write.
Then I say a Brady and Nick write like the scripts for
SGF
for
previews.
SGF previews. Is like, I'm a great writer. I am so good at this.
The fun part of doing those read throughs, I was like, oh, like this is like 80% myself, and then there would be a word in there that I'm like, that's not written by me.
I think I put like salivating to play more or whatever.
Yeah.
It makes like I wouldn't use that word.
Like, I had my moments during those scripts, but I definitely will never do a top 50 breaking down game by game writing scripts. Won't happen ever. With that being said, I knew after I beat Metal Gear Solid 1 that if I were to ever do it, that would be in my top 50, probably top 20 easily of best games I've ever played. Metal Gear Solid 2 and Metal Gear Solid 3 would also be in my top 50.
Wild.
And I think that that's like not crazy.
You like it's 3, 1, 2?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
So to go and discuss just the order of how these games were played, both of them were played on stream. I played Metal Gear Solid 1, 2, and 3 back to back to back. And
what a run.
After beating 2, was so mind blown. I beat 2 right before I went on or I was about to beat 2. I had one stream left to beat 2, and then I went on a trip where I just had to stop right when 2 gets fucking batshit insane.
Crazy.
When Metal Gear Solid 2 ending, and I've said this, and I think I'm just going to say it forever, is the best ending in video games. Like, it is the most insane ending in all of video games. Kojima gets really weird. I just had my mind blown. This isn't going to sound like a spoiler at all, but if you know, you know. If you don't, it's going to sound like complete nothingness. When you're walking at the end of that game and things are happening with every footstep, do you know what I'm talking about?
In 3?
In 2. Right when weird shit starts happening, you start walking and something happens. I'll tell you off camera. But like you start to realize what's happening with the entire framing of the world and everything.
Right.
And you just go, oh my God. There are
you in
voice
a hallway?
lines. Yeah. Or it's right before the hallway. It's right before you get in that hallway when shit starts getting crazy. You start realize what's happening, and then you get in the hallway and you're just like,
are you
holy
naked?
Shit. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Your booty's out. So I am playing this game on stream, and I'm having the most like tingles in my body, just like, holy shit, what the fuck is happening? And all I want to do is figure out what's happening and beat this fucking game. And then I had to go into a music festival for a weekend, and I am listening to some of the best music ever. I went and saw the second best concert I've ever seen that weekend with Arcade Fire performing All Funeral Live. I was like, oh my God. Before that concert, during that concert, and after that concert, I was thinking about Metal Gear Solid 2. I could not wait to get back to this game. And then I beat that game, and I'm like, yep, that's the best ending in gaming, period, bar none. I think that Metal Gear Solid 2 is a great game. 8 out of 10 for the first 80%. And then I genuinely think that, like, I don't want to say this hyperbolically, but I think that the only way you can say it is the ending's an 11 out of 10.
Yeah.
Like, it is... a lot of things are 10 out of 10. It is the best beyond a shadow of a doubt, in my opinion. It's that good.
It is worth noting that I think the ending that you're referring to is, if the ending is the last fourth, we're talking about one or the 3/4 of it, and then the last fourth, like with the last boss fight and the actual like full on ending. That's fine. You know what I mean? It's the trippy, like crazy, like reveal stuff that you're talking about. Yeah.
It's all the reveal stuff, but I also do think that the boss fight is really cool. Great. I think that that's where you get into like it's better than I think the original 3/4 of this game when you're on just the structure and everything. Yeah. And I really do enjoy just what is happening throughout that game and who you play as and the reveals and revelations. I think that the opening of that game is so
So cool.
good. Like, talk about just like a comeback. Just like, could you imagine playing that thing? It was '01, right? When that came out.
That sounds right. Yeah.
Yeah, I just being like, fuck, dude, are you kidding me with this shit? Unbelievable. So I adore this game. I think that the action is great. It is a step up from one in action. I think it's a definitive step down in story and character.
The villains are just weak in my opinion. There's some cool ones. Fat Man's pretty cool.
Yeah.
A guy, an explosive expert on roller skates.
Yeah.
Vamp kind of sucks.
All right.
He's whatever. And then what's the lady's name?
I just think of Electra, but that's wrong.
Yeah.
But it's forgettable.
With
And I
the
think
big
that's an issue with this game. And she's very lucky.
Yeah. Yes.
But I really do love the villains in one so much. So iconic. Every boss fight feels epic, even with the mechanics you have for a PS1 game. Where for this, you're on the PS2, you have that terrific opening, you're ready to rock it, and then all of a sudden, I felt like there was two streams where I'm like, I'm just having a great time, but I'm not having as much fun, nearly as much fun as I was having at the end, during my entire play length of one. The end of Metal Gear Solid 2 is simply mind-blowing and amazing, and Kojima deserves every single win and every single discussion point that he gets on his resume as being one of the greatest game creators ever. Metal Gear Solid 2, I think, does it for me more so than 1, 2, or 3. Where, like, sure, 1 is a better game than 2. But 2's ending makes him, like,
yes,
up there. Like, it legitimately changes the framing of this creator and the way that I will discuss Kojima forever. Kojima went from cool to like, are you fucking kidding me cool?
Right.
Like, are you a person or a robot, dude? Like, you are that level of awesome.
We got to get you on Death Stranding, my boy.
Yeah, never.
What? Nick, Death Stranding 2 looks awesome. Okay?
I'm going to play Death Stranding 2. I'm not playing 1.
No,
I'm
you
not
are playing
one.
1. Yes, you are.
How long is 1?
Not that long.
That's a bullshit.
It's not crazy long or anything. It's like 20, 30 hours.
Oh, okay.
Maybe. The person we were referring to is Fortune. The
Fortune. Thank you. But yeah, I love Metal Gear Solid 2, but I love Metal Gear Solid 3 more. I
know nothing about this game.
I know, and so I'm going to keep it very vague. When talking about what you could want from a Metal Gear Solid game, 1 does a great job of setting you in this cool action scene with terrific boss fights and a memorable location, memorable character after memorable character. What up?
It's 40 hours.
That's
long.
what I thought it was 40 hours. Yeah, I'm not playing Death Stranding 2 ever or 1 ever.
Why not? Nick, you gotta keep on keeping on.
I don't want to walk.
You gotta reconnect.
I don't want to connect. Should we have connected, Connor?
Nick, it's so cool.
So, with all that being said, Metal Gear Solid 3 is a terrific game. It is my favorite Metal Gear Solid game, and I think that it comes down to the fact that this is the most action of the tactical action espionage that you get with Metal Gear Solid. This is
tactical espionage action.
Yeah,
I think that's what it is, right?
Yeah, that sounds right.
Okay.
I think that it's brilliant. I think that from what you don't have in 2, you get with 3 with the terrific boss fights. What you don't have in 1 that you have in 2 with the great gameplay, it is even more so elevated in 3. I think that the location of being in the jungle, sure, it looks like the color of piss for most of it, and it's a little bit off-putting. It doesn't matter. This game is freaking awesome. Every single boss fight, I think, is not nearly as memorable as the first. I think the boss fights in 1 are just so stinking iconic. But there are moments in 3 that are just like, oh, yeah. I want all this. There is a moment in the 3 Delta trailer, which is the sort of closure scene as all of these army men are trying to like take you out in this very specific location, and then it cuts away before like things actually start popping off from character introductions and stuff like that. The way that it all ties together, especially with the ending of Metal Gear Solid 3, awesome. The way that it ties the story together, it's almost like watching Attack on Titan, where you go and you're doing the whole thing, and then all of a sudden it's reveal, and you're like, wait, that just reframed everything I just played and made it so much cooler. The ending of this game is simply phenomenal. Like, really cool. I don't think it's as good as 2's ending, because I didn't legitimately like think about it for every single waking moment.
Clear.
Yeah, I think it's the best ending ever. But dude, I was so interested to see how can you get me interested still in Metal Gear 2 games in a row. If you asked me to play any game series 3 games in a row, I would tell you to shut up. I think that's the nicest way.
I couldn't do it.
Exactly.
I did 1 and 2 in a row, and I was like, okay, I gotta go play something else.
And I think it was such a lofty goal to say, okay, I'm gonna do 1, 2, and 3 on stream, and
You raced through them.
oh yeah, I was doing. I think I did all 3 in like a month in some change.
And you lost copious amounts of progress in 1 as well.
So much progress in 1. We learned a lesson that everyone learns when they're playing retro games, and that is
Save often.
Save often. And save on camera and say on camera, hey, I saved right, and then have everyone else ensure that you saved. Yeah. Because, man, oh man, I lost a lot of progress. But no, Metal Gear Solid 3, Snake's at the top of his game. The cast is at the top of their game. Fucking cool-ass moments after cool-ass moments. I've never been so excited to see certain characters. The final boss fight in Metal Gear Solid 3 is so cool, and I cannot wait for Delta to see what that scene in particular is going to look like in the modern era. Are you kidding me, dude? Are you kidding me? Like, it is so freaking cool. I understand that when there's games that I talk about that I bring up like just like awesome hype language, and I know a lot of people associate with me about talking about games positively. There's no hyperbole here. Like, this game is just cool and amazing.
I don't think anybody's gonna bat an eye at you talking positively about Metal Gear Solid 3.
But it really is amazing. It's in my top 10 favorite games ever. I'm playing a lot of really fucking good games right now, and that is one of them.
I'll play it before Delta, no matter what. So if Delta is this year, I'll play it in the next few months for sure. So yeah.
That'll be a great review. Return to Retro. I think that would do. Oh, yeah. that would do very well.
Yeah, people were all about the review for
Metal Gear Solid 1. Yeah,
people really enjoyed that, so that was fun. All right, yeah, you want to move some of this stuff off the table for the draft, and then we will get into that. We're talking about a lot of games, dude. Talked
about like 11 games.
I have 17 Pokemon listed here.
Holy shit. Gen 2, the worst gen.
It's a bad gen.
I think it might be the worst. I was going through the list of Gen 2 Pokemon, and I was like, oof, there is not a single Pokemon that I give a flying fuck about. I'm not gonna lie. I
get first pick, right? That's what we're saying.
I have no idea, but do you want first pick?
Sure. What do I say? Today. You say welcome in or something. You say
today we are drafting.
Okay.
I normally say today.
I think you do something a little bit different.
I don't know what I do. I don't think about it.
Yeah, I watch the videos. You don't watch our videos.
I watch the drafts.
Well, you edit them. Oh,
no,
I
don't.
You don't edit them.
Every video that I edit, I've watched 10 times, 15 times.
Right.
I don't watch it when we post it.
Yeah.
But if it's a video that Jay edits, then I do watch it.
I'll watch when you send it to me just to make sure that it's all good. Yep. And then I might watch it once when it's reposted. But I go to the comments so often that I see the beginning of the video over and over again.
For draft comments, normally it is Nick sucks or Nick lost, and so I just don't look at those comments.
That's funny.
I've gotten, I think, really healthy with our comment section. I think you've gotten really good with it too. That you're not
better. At not reading every single. So when a post first pops up, when we first post it, I'll look at the comments for a while.
Yeah.
And then if a video gets really big, I'm just gonna stay out of there for the most part. I don't really care.
Really? For me, it's the opposite of like, I normally don't check the comments for some of our smaller videos. Most of them are trivia based things of like, you're better or I'm better or whatever is better. And I'm like, I don't really care. My favorite thing is the people that like think that there's some sort of animosity like that's happening. And it's
people just don't know that we're brothers.
Yeah, I think that's part of it. But it's delightful to just be like, oh man, like we're having the time of our fucking lives talking about these games right now. So whatever. And then there are the people that are just like so inherently positive. I genuinely cannot discuss any video's positivity more so than the 100K followers video. Like when we hit 100K,
Oh,
we said
people were
that. Thank
so
you.
nice.
I've never seen anything like that. If there's ever a moment that I'm having a bad day, like a really bad day, I'm going to that video just
Yeah.
to be like, oh, like it's
Even
a
the
warm blanket.
survey though as well, people giving us feedback and being like, we just love your stuff, don't change anything, which we will change things to make it better.
Yeah.
Like we'll add things to make it better rather.
No more TikToks.
Yeah. So
We're done.
that survey is going to be so helpful for us we already, I just want to get to the point where we can talk about what
I
we
mean,
are
the hard
planning.
part is just to say some things publicly, we have plans that we want to implement this year. We have a lot of plans that we want to implement co-op 64 day.
Yeah.
Those are like sort of two, like what can we do now to improve? And a lot of that is smaller stuff because we are still in a system that hinders ourselves at a certain point of like just how hard can we work, and with Connor and Brady having the busy season coming up, like how are we going to be able to provide a product that is elevated but also do so consistently? That's difficult. Co-op 64 day will be where we want to implement a lot of the cool new ideas that you guys have either suggested or we have discussed for a long time. I've said it since legitimately November 2023. I'm like, I can't wait for 2025. Co-op 64 day 2025, most important day potentially ever in Co-op 64 history. Like, it's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah, basically, if you think we're doing a lot now and you like our stuff now, just fucking wait.
Yeah.
We got some good plans. I'm excited about all of it. I wish we could do it right now, but
Yeah,
it's just a matter of time.
And the hard part
timing.
is it's fucking hardly going to be July, and like we're hardly about to be in July. Like we're end of June, almost July. We still have 6 more months to fucking not do this.
Yeah,
And
but
we
it'll
wanna
fly
do-
by. This
Oh,
year
yeah.
is flying by, and also when this posts, it'll already be July.
That's what I'm trying to say. Like
Yeah.
I was trying to work it to be double, but yeah, it's currently not July, but this is going to post like July like 14th.
Yeah. All right. Well, I almost started the whole draft, and then we just went on a whole tangent. That's funny.
Oh, lastly though, if you've not filled out the survey, it is the links in our TikTok bio. Critiques are more welcome than just good jobs. Even if it's a small critique, just say, hey, small critique, or like, I love what you do, but like this is a potential way of improvement. That is extremely, extremely helpful.
Right on. Okay. Today we are drafting Gen 2 Pokemon. I'm going to kick this off. I'm taking Lugia with my first overall pick. They're my favorite of the legendary birds from your Gen 1 and Gen 2 birds. You could go Ho-Oh, but I way prefer Lugia here. Lugia was my first pick.
With my first pick, I'm choosing Entei because they're freaking cool. Like, I was talking to Connor about this. This is a rough generation of Pokemon to pick. So I'm just going to choose cool Pokemon and ones that hit my vibe.
Dude, this is a big pick right here. If Nick picks something and leaves me with the people I want, we're going to be running away with this thing.
With my next pick, I'm choosing Chikorita because I adore Chikorita. I think that they're a terrific starter, and Connor is fist pumping with joy right now. So who do you want?
With my second pick, I'm going to take Suicune, the best of the legendary dogs here. The cover of Pokemon Crystal. Come on, Suicune, badass, so cool. In my third pick, we're going with this mythical Pokemon. We're going with Celebi. They got a whole movie after them, dude. Celebi's amazing. I would take Celebi over Mew. They're both very coded in the same way. You take Celebi over Mew, and that's where I'm taking them here. Third overall for me. There we go. You're letting me get some legendary Pokemon,
Cool. I don't like if we're talking about legendaries in general, like you're choosing Gen 2 legendaries.
dude. Yeah, Gen 2 has awesome legendaries. The dogs are awesome.
I'm choosing the people with the fucking vibes, okay?
Yeah.
And with my next pick, there's no one that's got more vibes than Sudowoodo, okay? Let's be real. Come on. I know that our editor's going to edit these Pokemon in. Are you looking at this guy right now? Are you seeing this guy?
He's a goofy lad, for sure.
Freaking rad.
I think Ash had one too, so.
And
Sudowoodo's
then
badass.
I'm choosing Cyndaquil for my next pick. Why not?
Right on.
Yeah. Like I said, I personally am not a huge fan of this gen, but like I'm choosing the team with the vibes, and my team has straight up vibes. I got legendary people, I got some starters, and I got a dude that's freaking rad.
Dude, you're making this too easy on me, man.
Sure, take the layups, take the boring ass Pokemon.
They're
I'm
not
choosing
boring.
legendaries. I'm having fucking Sudowoodo be my point guard on this team, dude.
I think I'm gonna go and not pick a single starter here. I do love Bayleaf. Bayleaf is my favorite Pokemon. I love Feraligatr for the final evolution in the Totodile string, but I'm going to go with Tyranitar with my fourth pick. Badass dinosaur. Huge. Just an absolute unit of a boy. Really strong Pokemon. Tyranitar with my fourth pick. With my fifth pick, I'm going to go with the best evolution. We're going with Umbreon. Just immaculate art design for Umbreon. Super cool, super badass, amazing. Umbreon with my final pick.
And now I'm just going for cuteness because I had a little one of these in my college apartment and I love them. I'm choosing Pichu for my last pick.
Okay. I thought you were going to go with Togepi.
Nah, I'm all right. Togepi's cool, but like I love my little Pichu and I'm just going to choose it. Like I said, this draft, I'm okay with losing. Like this is one of those that I like Pokemon a lot. I don't really care about Gen 2 Pokemon. And so
I want to just get to Gen 3. Honestly.
I just want to do the vibes and then, let's move on to Gen 3. I feel like we're on to Buffalo of Pokemon generations.
I don't know, man. There's some really great Pokemon on here. Ursaring, Houndoom, Togepi, Heracross, Scizor,
Ho-Oh,
Steelix. I had Sudowoodo as well. Ampharos, Espeon, Wobbuffet. Wobbuffet.
I thought about choosing Hoot Hoot just because you catch a bunch of those guys really on, and it's just like you rock and roll, right?
No, you
but
can't.
This has been a very fun podcast.
Yeah, long one too. How long have we gone? Like
hour and a half.
Yeah, something like that.
So a little bit more.
Right on. Alrighty. So this is posting in 2 weeks.
Yep.
Is there anything else that we need to say? I don't think so. I think we're good.
Go and fill out the survey if you haven't, but also watch a stream. Streaming schedule is going to be so good after this post with Uncharted 3, me probably beating Cuphead that week, and then potentially starting Kingdom Hearts 2. Hollow Knight's going to continue for a while.
Yeah, it's a long game.
Yeah, which I remember I was like, do you want to play Hollow Knight? And you're like, yeah. And I'm like, cool, you're locked in for 10 fucking weeks then, bro. Like, you're playing this for a long time.
It's just so hard to play games once a week. Every single time I spend the first 15 minutes of playing Hollow Knight being like, what the fuck was I even doing?
Yeah, it's hard to hop back in. Like, I was same with Cuphead. Cuphead is one of those that you can't.
Cuphead, you're like learning a skill, but like you're just going to.
Oh, but I'm just getting bodied for the first 15 minutes, whoever I'm facing.
Gotcha. Alrighty, that was your casual gaming conversation for this week. Peace out.